dear James and Fuhad. So, here we are. You've dropped your apology after that hot mess of a podcast with Andrew Schulz, where the man had the nerve to spit out some truly wild remarks about black women, and y'all just sat there, looking confused. But now you've reflected, huh? You've come to apologize. That's cute, really cute. First things first, you're right. There's literally no excuse for that joke. Black women stress men out? Oh, we're sorry if we stress you out by, I don't know, existing in our magic. And just when we were out here minding our business, dodging bad vibes, and trying to keep our edges intact while Miel is out here trying to make us all go bald-headed, y'all co-sign Andrew's nonsense by sitting there silently. So who's really stressing who out now? Now, let's talk about your shock and disbelief, because according to you, that's why you didn't immediately stand up and kick the cameras down. But honestly, I didn't see shock. What I saw was a whole lot of, oh man, this is awkward, but let's just roll with it. You're not victims here, babes. You didn't suddenly freeze up because you weren't prepared for Andrew to say something foul. Let's be real, it's Andrew Schulz. You are more prepared for that than y'all are for brunch on a Sunday. You said you told him to just move on, like that was some brave act of defiance, but that wasn't even uncomfortable. That was you trying to change the topic, not correct him. You weren't about to let a little thing like disrespect for black women ruin your show, right? Let me guess. You thought if you sat there quietly long enough, the moment would pass and no one would notice. Well, surprise! We noticed, and we're calling it what it is. But now you've learned from your mistake and you're deeply sorry. Okay, but tell me this. How are you going to make sure that this doesn't happen again? Because it's easy to apologize after the fact when the heat's on you. But what happens the next time someone disrespects black women in your space? Is your knee-jerk reaction still going to be, just move on, just move on? Because last time I checked, standing up for people should be programmed at this point, not an afterthought. Now let's be real for a second. You didn't react because you weren't prepared? Come on now. Even toddlers know when something's off. It's instinctual. We all have that moment where the spidey senses tingle and we know we should speak up, but y'all let that moment slide. So what's next? Another podcast? More banter? Are y'all gonna learn how to clock your friends when they say something out of pocket? Or are you just gonna apologize every time you get called out? We're watching. Anyway, I hope y'all really do take the time to reflect this time, because this wasn't just some random joke gone wrong. It was a moment where you could have stood up and said something. Nah, this isn't okay, but you didn't. So, James and Fuhad, here's your homework. Learn to recognize these moments in the moment and have the guts to speak up. Or better yet, don't invite people to share your platform who think it's okay to degrade black women. Trust me, it's not as hard as you think it is. And as for you, Andrew, oh, Andrew, I see you've taken it upon yourself to go viral again by coming after black women. How brave, how original. You really woke up one morning and thought, you know what's missing from the world? Some white guy making jokes about black women being too much. Groundbreaking, really, truly. But let me ask you this. Who hurt you? Was it the comedic gods, or was it someone a little closer to home? I'm just curious, because somewhere along the line, somebody didn't do their job right. You see, Andrew, this is where your mama comes in. I can't help but wonder what exactly Mrs. Schulz was doing when she was supposed to be teaching you about the basics, like don't touch the stove when it's hot or respect others. especially Black women, oh right, you missed that memo. That, or maybe she didn't read you enough bedtime stories about how racism is bad and lazy comedy is even worse. Honestly, Andrew, it's 2024. Should we really be explaining this to grown men? Like, we really gotta say, hey, picking on Black women for clout is tired and it's giving insecure. Now let's talk about that joke, shall we? The one where you said Black women stress men out and complain a lot. That's cute, but let's break it down, because if anyone's stressed here, Andrew, it's not us. Trust me, the only stress we feel is having to sit through your half-baked jokes. You're really out here acting like the problem is us, when in reality, we're just out here minding our business, thriving, and somehow still managing to trigger your fragile ego. Let's think about this for a second. Black women have been carrying communities, cultures, and industries on our backs, but sure, we stress you out. Newsflash, we're not the problem, Andrew. You are. If you can't handle the strength, resilience, and excellence of a Black woman, maybe it's time you set this one out. But hey, let's not get too deep, right? You're just trying to joke after all. Except, Andrew, we see through your attempt at humor. What you call comedy, we call projection. You're not stressed because Black women are difficult. You're stressed because, deep down, we see right through you. We're not the ones whining. You are. But listen, let me make this simple for you. Black women are not here to be your punchline. We've been through enough. You see us strong, successful, taking up space, and instead of applauding, you feel threatened. Instead of using your platform to uplift or, come up with some actual creative material, you punch down. And let's be honest, it's not even landing. And here's the thing, Andrew. This isn't just about a joke. This is about a pattern. The little cracks in the foundation, the small moments of casual racism that too many people laugh off. But should we be side-eyeing those jokes? Absolutely. Because those cracks have a way of growing into something much uglier. And before you know it, the whole structure comes crashing down. So, Andrew, it's not too late to turn this around. Maybe start by learning that Black women aren't the source of your stress. They're the source of your discomfort because you can't handle their excellence. And listen, while you're at it, maybe have a heart-to-heart with Mrs. Schulz and get a late lesson on respect and how to be funny without being racist. Revolutionary, I know. Anyway, I'll leave you to reflect on that. Sincerely, Black women, still not your punchline and definitely not your source of stress.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got him picking up the